Cloudflare just pulled off a superhero move we didn't even know we needed, blocking the largest DDoS attack ever recorded, a staggering 3.8 terabits per second. The whole scam is simple. Convince you that you're making stacks of cash, while the fraudsters sit back and siphon off your deposits faster than you can say, "Where the hell did my money go?" When you try to cash out your profits, surprise! The only one cashing out is the con artist who's already halfway to a yacht party. It's like trying to pass off counterfeit Gucci bags at a Gucci store and hoping no one notices the missing C label. Well, Apple eventually did. Welcome to the Security Brief for Week 40. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and share this news. To our first story, in a coordinated international law enforcement operation, 4 individuals associated with the LockBit ransomware group have been arrested. This comes after a joint effort by agencies across 12 countries as part of the broader Operation Kronos, designed to dismantle the infrastructure supporting LockBit. These arrests targeted key figures in the gang, including a ransomware developer and others linked to the group's operations. LockBit, active since 2019, has been responsible for cyberattacks against high-profile organizations worldwide, inflicting financial damages exceeding $100 million. Operation Kronos, carried out with the collaboration of Europol and other major cybercrime enforcement units, saw authorities executing search warrants, seizing evidence, and conducting interviews with the arrested suspects. LockBit's impact on the global cybersecurity landscape has been substantial, having attacked numerous organizations including Boeing, Bank of America, and Royal Mail. With damages attributed to them running into the billions, the group's reach has been far and wide. Good job, guys. Now the world's just a little safer. Moving on. The Irish Data Protection Commission has imposed a staggering €91 million fine on Meta, the parent company of Facebook, after discovering that the social media giant stored hundreds of millions of user passwords in plaintext, leaving them vulnerable to potential access and misuse. Meta's recent fine feels like the kind of mistake you'd expect from a tech startup, not a $500 billion company. Back in 2019, during a routine security review, Meta discovered they had been storing millions of passwords for Facebook, Facebook Lite, and Instagram in plaintext. Yep, no encryption, no proper protection. Imagine a kid leaving their diary wide open with a "do not read" sign on it. Somehow, even with their massive resources, they didn't bother adding basic encryption to user passwords. How hard is it to hash a password, Zuckerberg? Then came the €91 million fine, a hefty slap on the wrist from the DPC. It's like watching a billionaire trip over their own arrogance and land face first in regulations they'd been ignoring for years. Meta claims they're taking steps to ensure this doesn't happen again, but it's hard not to roll your eyes. What's next? Locks on their data centers? Maybe not storing user data like post-it notes under a keyboard would be a start. This fine is significant, not just because of the financial blow, but because it underscores the growing scrutiny big tech faces over data protection. Data breaches are becoming the norm, and regulators are increasingly holding companies accountable. The enforcement of GDPR is tightening, with fines like this setting an example for others worldwide. Moving on, tech manufacturer DrayTek has issued critical security updates for over 700,000 of its routers, addressing 14 newly discovered vulnerabilities. Uncovered by Forescout Research's Vedere Labs, these flaws include serious threats like remote code execution and command injection, with one flaw receiving the maximum severity score of 10.0. Routers exposed on the internet with open web interfaces are particularly at risk of exploitation if not updated immediately. The vulnerabilities affect over 700,000 devices worldwide, with concentrations in the US, UK, Vietnam, and Australia. While no active exploits have been reported yet, users are strongly urged to install the firmware updates and implement protective measures such as disabling remote access, securing admin credentials, and monitoring for suspicious activity. This issue affects both currently supported routers and older models that have reached end of life, highlighting the severity of the vulnerabilities. DrayTek has released fixes for all impacted models, ensuring that even outdated devices can be secured. Moving on, the notorious Russian-based hacking group Fin7 has launched a network of fraudulent websites claiming to offer AI-powered deep nude generators, luring unsuspecting visitors into downloading malware. These sites, promoted through shady SEO tactics, trick visitors into uploading photos under the promise of AI smut. But instead of getting their fake nudes, users are greeted with, "Oh no, we need to download the file for you." And next thing you know, your bank account is vanishing faster than your self-respect. The malware, like Llama Stealer and Redline Stealer, is designed to swipe browser credentials, crypto wallets, and other sensitive information. Fin7 has been pulling off stunts like this for years, mailing malicious USB sticks disguised as Best Buy promos, hiring unwitting pen testers, and now tricking people with deepfakes and malware. Really raising the bar for global cybercrime, aren't they? While many of these fake nude sites have been taken down, experts warn that anyone who fell for this scam should treat their device as thoroughly compromised. On to our next news story. Cloudflare just pulled off a superhero move we didn't even know we needed, blocking the largest DDoS attack ever recorded, a staggering 3.8 terabits per second. The attack lasted a month, involved over 100 individual strikes, and targeted industries like financial services and telecommunications. At its peak, 65 seconds of pure digital chaos were unleashed, with over 2 billion packets per second flooding network infrastructure, causing all kinds of havoc. And guess what? A lot of this chaos came courtesy of hacked consumer-grade devices like routers, DVRs, and IoT gadgets from places like Russia, Vietnam, the US, Brazil, and Spain. Yes, even your grandma's dusty router was enlisted in the biggest cyber attack in history. Congrats, Grandma! The method? A classic UDP flood. Think of it like crashing a party uninvited, smashing all the windows, and leaving before anyone can stop you. Fast, brutal, and seriously disruptive. Despite the scale of the attack, Cloudflare handled it with what seemed like casual ease. But this isn't just a one-time thing. DDoS attacks are becoming more powerful and sophisticated. Attackers are constantly coming up with creative ways to increase the volume, exploiting vulnerabilities in everything from IoT devices to, yes, even printers. Cloudflare's heroic efforts here may have set a new standard for resilience in the face of massive cyber threats, but it's also a grim reminder. As attackers continue to innovate, our defenses need to stay one step ahead. Moving on, nothing screams criminal mastermind quite like pulling off a multi-million-dollar scam on one of the biggest tech companies in the world using a pile of counterfeit iPhones. You see, 2 Chinese nationals were sentenced to prison for scamming Apple out of more than $2.5 million after exchanging over 6,000 counterfeit iPhones for authentic ones. Hao Shin-sun and Pengfei Shui went full Ocean's 11, swapping out more than 6,000 fake iPhones, shipped from Hong Kong, for legit ones through Apple's warranty replacement program. For a while, Apple kept handing over brand new devices as if they were no big deal. It's like trying to pass off counterfeit Gucci bags at a Gucci store and hoping no one notices the missing C label. Well, Apple eventually did. These guys thought they could outsmart a company that practically invented the "we're watching your every move" business model. And here's the kicker. They used their actual university IDs and driver's licenses to open mailboxes at UPS for their scheme. Genius, right? Nothing says stealthy scam artist like giving out your real name and face during a multi-million-dollar fraud. Once they got the legit iPhones, they sent them back to Hong Kong to sell, splitting the profits. But their criminal enterprise came crashing down in 2019 when U.S. postal inspectors caught on to their little game. Sun was sentenced to 57 months in prison. Shui got 54 months, and the two were ordered to pay over $1.4 million in restitution to Apple. Good luck paying that off from behind bars. In the end, they managed to scam Apple out of over $2.5 million, only to get outwitted by postal inspectors. Made in China, busted in USA. Moving on, a massive cyber attack dubbed CosmicSting has hit over 4,000 Adobe Commerce and Magento online stores, compromising approximately 5% of all stores globally. The CosmicSting vulnerability, CVE 2024-34102, is a critical severity information disclosure flaw. When chained with CVE 2024-2961, a security issue in glibc's icon function, an attacker can achieve remote code execution on the target server. The attackers aren't even being subtle about it. They're injecting malicious scripts with domain names like jurystatic.xyz because nothing says legit business, like a URL that looks like someone smashed their face on the keyboard. Apparently these hacking groups, Bobry, Polyovki, Burunduki, and a bunch of others that sound like the names of off-brand Russian cereals, are fighting over these vulnerable sites. Yep, we've got hackers battling it out like they're playing Capture the Flag, except the flag is your credit card info, and the only winners here are whichever group manages to out-hack the others. If you happen to be running an online store, it's time to drop everything and patch your site like it's the apocalypse. Because if you don't, Bobry, Burunduki, or some other alphabet soup of hackers are going to turn your site into their personal cash machine. Moving on, fake trading apps on Google Play and Apple's App Store lure victims into pig butchering scams that have a global reach. The apps have been removed from the official Android and iOS stores after accumulating several thousand downloads, say researcher at cybersecurity company Group IB, who discovered the fraud. Pig butchering is the name of a scam where the victim is led to believe they are getting high investment returns on a fake trading platform that displays fabricated information. Fraudsters use social engineering to keep the victim depositing funds and prevent them from withdrawing the displayed profit. These apps somehow made it onto Google Play and the App Store, which, let's be honest, isn't shocking anymore. They're basically digital flea markets where any scammer with a basic understanding of code can set up shop and wait for the suckers to roll in. The whole scam is simple. Convince you that you're making stacks of cash while the fraudsters sit back and siphon off your deposits faster than you can say, "Where the hell did my money go?" When you try to cash out your profits, surprise! The only one cashing out is the con artist who's already halfway to a yacht party. A new angle is that these scammers are grooming their victims on dating apps. That's right, while you're out there looking for love, they're out there looking to drain your wallet dry, not what you want to be drained right. And to really sell the lie, they have you upload your ID and passport because nothing says investment like giving your personal information to a total stranger on an app that promises insane investment returns. Smart move. If an app promises high returns and asks for your passport, it's probably less of an investment opportunity and more of a, "Hey, can we butcher you financially?" Moving on, Sellafield, a major UK nuclear facility, has been fined £332,500, $440,000, by the Office for Nuclear Regulation, ONR, for cybersecurity failures from 2019 to 2023. Sellafield, a nuclear waste facility holding enough radioactive material to make Chernobyl look like a sparkler, decided to play fast and loose with its cybersecurity. Because who doesn't love the thought of ransomware taking down a nuclear site? So, for 4 years, from 2019 to 2023, they just left the doors open, metaphorically speaking. Unpatched systems, outdated software, contractors plugging in USBs like it's the early 2000s, and vulnerabilities that even got them nicknamed Voldemort. I mean, if the cybersecurity at a nuclear facility is so bad that even internally, they call it after the most dangerous wizard in fiction, you know you've messed up big time. But hey, no actual attacks happened, apparently. Just a ticking time bomb of incompetence sitting there with the potential to go kaboom. They even admitted that 75% of their servers were about as secure as a wet paper bag. Get your stuff together, guys. We don't want another Chernobyl. Moving on, MoneyGram, who recently suffered a 5-day outage due to a cyberattack, leading to the temporary suspension of its money transfer services. The breach, detected on September 20th, was initially believed to be ransomware related. However, after a thorough investigation involving CrowdStrike and law enforcement, MoneyGram confirmed no evidence of ransomware. The attack originated through social engineering targeting the internal help desk, allowing unauthorized access to the network. While MoneyGram has not publicly attributed the attack to any particular threat actor, the strategies are reminiscent of attacks previously conducted by a loose-knit hacker collective known as Scattered Spider, aka UNC 3944, the COM, and 0K-Tapus. In September 2023, Scattered Spider was behind a cyberattack on MGM Resorts, which they breached by impersonating an MGM employee while calling the IT help desk to reset the password. Good job, MoneyGram. We feel so reassured knowing that next time some hacker calls up your help desk, they might actually ask for ID before handing them the keys to the kingdom. Moving on to the last story. We have an update to Highline Public Schools confirming that a ransomware attack forced it to shut down all schools in early September. Highline Public Schools has over 2,000 staff members and offers programs ranging from early childhood education to college preparation. It serves over 17,500 students across 34 schools in the Burien, Des Moines, Normandy Park, SeaTac, and White Center communities in Washington state. After discovering evidence of unauthorized activity on its network following a September 7th security breach, the school district was forced to shut down all schools and cancel school activities. Highline's central office remained open, and staff were instructed to report for work. The district also started investigating the attack's impact and working to restore systems with help from third-party state and federal partners. The district is still rebuilding affected network systems to come back online and says it will start re-imaging all student and staff devices starting October 14th. No other details are available regarding the ransomware operation behind last month's cyberattack, and it's currently unclear whether any personal information belonging to staff or students was exposed or stolen in the incident. So there you have it, education in 2024, where even school shutdowns come with a side of malware. That's it for this week's news. Which story did you find most interesting, or any story that you wish was included? Make sure you comment under. Make sure to subscribe, and I see you soon.